Igenali badumuro na game dame ege sagbanu gbogbo imamienu piafa. Igenali badumuro na game dame. Igenali badumuro na game dame.
During the reign of Oba Erediawa, the Alake of Egba ranks the Oba of Benin in third position among the Obas of the Yoruba land. However, the palace of the Benin monarch rejected the ranking, saying that the stool of the ancient city of Benin is superior to that of any Yoruba monarch. The Esogba of Benin Kingdom also argues that the word Oba is indigenous to the Benin people. It is only in recent times you find everybody bearing Oba. When the Western Regional Conference of Traditional Rulers took place in Benin City in 1942, there was no other monarch in the whole of the Western region then that bears the title Oba except the Oba of Benin. Anyway, Imasuen Izoduwa is going to do the full analysis of the controversy behind this claim. Just take a look.
A quick one. My very dear sister, Mother Nekben Obasoge, asked me to do a quick one on what has transpired in 2016 or 2015 when the Alake of Egba ranked the different Yoruba Obas and included the Benin Oba. Although that act of shame was quickly, historically and factually knocked out by our impeccable Esogma of Benin Chief Debiri. A lot of things are beginning to also rise, creep up. Some people are beginning to dwell on some imaginary, fallacious, historical narration, always coming from the Yoruba people. So since I was asked to do something quickly on that, I'd like to be very brief about it. And before then, I hope we are all happy isolation and we are all staying safe. My name is Emmanuel Amogwe Izodowa. A quick one. First, there are no basis for the comparison. I don't know what Alake of Egba was thinking 5 or 6 years ago when he had to rank the Oba of Benin. It was then Oba Erediawa that was still on the throne when this argument came up. I don't know the basics for that ranking of the Oba of Benin amongst the Yoruba Obas. No one said they shouldn't rank the Yoruba Obas, but we are just saying that the Oba of Benin shouldn't be ranked amongst the Yoruba Oba. I think in that ranking he said Oni of Ife is number 1, Alafin of Oyo is number 2, the Oba of Benin is number 3, him Alake of Egba is number 4, blah 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 blah. But everyone is entitled to his or her opinion, but however, when your opinion stampedes the truth, it's always mortally right for you to be knocked out on several occasions and for you to be tutored and lectured like a baby that you are, in case you begin to talk like one. So in this case, Alake of Egba at that time spoke like a baby. So I think we'll continue to correct them. Although it is not really that way important, though, however, they want to rank it. It's not the problem of the Benin people at all, and it's not even the problem of anybody generally. But however, we have to put the history straight at all possible times, just like Nekben Obasoge had requested. First and foremost, there are no basics for comparison. If they were ranking in the old Western region, it was because Edo was part of the old Western region, not because that Edo people are Yoruba people. That is a common sense. Even in the old Eastern region, some of the tribes in River State, in Bayelsa and all that are North Igbos were also being ranked and made subjected under the Igbos, because the Igbos dominated the old eastern region, just like the Yorubas dominated the old western region. But eventually, we got our freedom through a plebiscite in 1963. That shows that, and the the person who led that plebiscite was Oba Akintola II of blessed memory. So that shows that the Obas had never at any time saw themselves as Yorubas. Otherwise, why would you want to leave your kids and kin? It just doesn't make sense. But let's not dwell on that. Let's talk about the ranking. The Oba of Benin, there is no basics for any king in Yoruba land to rank the Oba of Benin under the Yoruba Obas. First, because the Oba of Benin, he is not a Yoruba man. So there are no basics for you to rank a foreigner, someone who is not among you, and which the Oba of Benin is not is a foreigner to the Yoruba people. So why would you rank him under the Yoruba Obas? But however, even as a foreigner, I can categorically say that as a proud Benin man, as a proud Edo man, the Oba of Benin is greater than any Yoruba Oba, in whatever historical ramifications you want to look at it from. Is it by exploit? Is it by dignity? Is it by pride? Is it by spirituality? In all ramifications that you want to look at it. But assuming, even if the Oba of Benin was a Yoruba man, assuming now, it still would be greater than the Oni and the Alafins, or however you want to call it. Let me quickly say this. First, in the rankings of the kings, the progenies of Oduduwa, Oni should not be ranked. Everyone understands how Oni was politically made a king, otherwise he's a chief priest. So in the rankings of kings, Oni is not supposed to be ranked because it's not by virtue of the history passed down. He's not a king. Is a chief priest. That's one. Secondly, he does not belong to the household of the Oduduwa. So he's not an Oduduwa progeny. So, and how come he will not be ranked when it comes to the house of Oduduwa? He has no bloodline connection to Oduduwa. So that takes Oni out of the equation of ranking of the Yoruba kings, assuming if the Oba of Benin was actually a Yoruba man. Then it is not left with the Oba of Benin and the Alafin of Oyo. The Benins have so much respect for Alafin of Oyo because we believe he's one of our own. If he's the younger brother of the Oba of Benin, let me prove that Alafin of Oyo himself cannot say publicly that he's greater than the Oba of Benin. That's not even possible. Like, he has come out severally to tell the world that he's greater than the Oni of Ife, but Alafin cannot come out publicly to tell anybody at any point in time that he's greater than the Oba of Benin, and I will prove so. It's true, Oromiyan, son of Oduduwa, grandson of Oduduwa, left Ife to become king in Benin. He married a woman called Eimide, and then they saw the son called Eweka, after which some time later Oromiyan left Benin because he could not stay. Then he got to Ife. When he got to Ife, his father's throne or his grandfather's throne, as the case may be, was already occupied. So he left. He went to Oyo, present-day Oyo. He married a Nupe woman to Rieshe, sight two sons, Ajaka and Shango, of which today the lineages of the Alafins of Oyo are either from Ajaka or Shango, but these two sons that he later sighted in Oyo are younger brothers to Eweka, the one he sighted first in Benin. So that means technically every Oba of Benin is the elder brother of every Alafin of Oyo. So in terms of the headship of the Oduduwa household, Oba of Benin is greater and higher than the Alafin of Oyo. And don't also forget, by exploit, nobody wants to compare, nobody in his right senses wants to compare Oyo Empire and Benin Empire. Benin Empire is up there. We are not saying Oyo Empire never was never great, but we're just saying that Benin Empire was far greater. So, what's now the basis? So, by experts, by seniority, by everything, the Oba of Benin is greater than Alafin of Oyo. So, the basis of classification is not even there. If today Alafin has been sunk up into the greater Yoruba people, doesn't mean that we are very proud and we can take categorically that if they are laughing of Oyo seems himself in the present time as a Yoruba man, but he's the greatest king in Yoruba land, basically, because the other one that they are ranking is politically created as a king, otherwise he's historically known as a chief priest. Now, in the 40s, a lot of meetings, old Western traditional council meetings were held, and it is in a public domain that the only person that was addressed as an Oba was the king of Benin. So every other kings in the old Western region were all addressed by either Alake of Egba, Olubadan of Ibadan, Oni of Ife, what's the other one? Alafin of Oyo, Osemawe of Ondo, Deji of Akure, blah. All of them were addressed, but none of them were ever addressed. Even Eleko of Eko, who is now called Oba of Lagos, they were addressed by their distinct nature. It was the Oba of Benin that was addressed as the Oba. It is in recent times that you are now seeing Oba this, Oba that in Yoruba land. So the argument of Oba being a Yoruba word shouldn't also creep in here, because the word Oba is very indigenous to the Benin people. Far back as 40 BC, the first king of Benin was addressed as was called Obagodo. Obagodo. So the word Oba is indigenous to the Benin. And one of my video had explicitly explained it. So they are not basics for the comparison that the Oba of Benin is ranked among the Yoruba chief or kings. So let them continue to rank whatever they want to rank, and let them free us. We as different ethnic groups, we have our different problems and different priorities, and then we should allow it be so. We know there was an ancestral connection at one point in history between the Yorubas and the Benins, and the Yorubas, whatever they think is different from whatever they think. So I advise, when the Yoruba tell you as a Benin man that they gave you a king, you don't have to be angry about it. Just tell them that the king they gave us, the father of that king, is a Benin man. So that ends an argument. I don't think we should be dwelling on arguing. We should just constructively put our point and leave. So if you give us a king, Oromiya, and the father, the grandfather of that, your Oromiyan called Oduduwa, is a Benin man, so let's not argue. That's your argument, that you give us a king, and my argument is that the king that you give to the Benins, the father of that king, is a Benin man. So what's the basics of that argument? So we allow it to live there. So I thank all of you for listening. I intend to make it very short and brief. My name remains Emerson Amowe Zodowar. Let us continue to pray to God and our ancestors to keep us all safe during these COVID-19 pandemics affecting the entire world. And so I thank all of you. Obaga Tokbayo is